Be sure to check out our website, lafootballmagazine.com. Our feature article of the day is Bubby Brister, former Neville. That's right, former Neville quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. Back in the day, he had signed with Alabama years ago. Paul Bear Bryant, and then decommitted to go to Tulane, and ended up at ULM. Back then, it was called Northeast College. Bubby broke a bunch of records, which were later broke a little bit by Stan Humphries. And he was our interview today on our website. Go check it out, lafootballmagazine.com. And also Tommy Badon, the head coach from Westminster, was our feature yesterday. Westminster High School, outside of right there in Opelousas, Louisiana. We want to go ahead and go to our first guest, Henry Rando, the retired great coach from East Jefferson High School, several schools over the years. Henry, do we have you online?
You got me. I'm here, Lee.
Coach, and we're glad to have you on our show tonight. And over the years, I wanted to thank you about turning in your questionnaire the last 14 years for the magazine. You were one of the better, the quickest questionnaires I think we ever got every year for the program.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Henry, tell us a little bit. I know you're doing prep football on Friday nights now. You're retired right now. I mean, you were at East Jefferson for many years. You had coached at Jesuit and some other schools. And what is it like watching the games from the press box and from the TV instead of being on the field right now?
It's kind of tough. You know, you do something for such a long time, Lee. You become a creature of habit. But I think doing what I'm doing right now has really kind of given me an opportunity to stay involved and keep updated with what's going on in prep football.
Coach, when you started coaching a few years ago, what are the biggest changes that you've seen in high school football with the rules, with the rules of the game? And, is there anything that you would like to see that could still be changed in the game, or some things that you don't like? Is there anything that...
Well, if you're an offensive coach, Lee, I think the biggest rule that the National Federation came in with was blocking below the waist. When I started coaching, that was no rule. You could block below the waist. And so from an offensive standpoint, I know a lot of the schools in Louisiana ran the wing T, and when they first did it in the 70s, you could block below the waist, and so that helped the wing T football teams offensively. From a safety factor, though, I think it's a great rule. And that is, of course, that you cannot crack back like they did years ago and block below the waist. So I think that's the biggest change. Obviously, I think the offenses and the defenses have changed somewhat, but we were laughing the other night, Lee, because everybody's talking about the Wildcat and the spread.
Yeah.
When I first started coaching in 1965 at Jesuit High School, we were in a single wing. And we ran all this stuff that you see today. We ran this in 1965.
Amazing.
It really is. It really is.
Only because McFadden, I guess, TV, they didn't have ESPN back then, right? No CNN.
No.
No Jefferson Pilot. None of that. And, no internet.
Right.
But, Coach, you coached some really good football players over the years at East Jeff. Who were some of your favorites? I know you had a couple of guys in the league at one time, at the same time they were in the league from your school.
Well, yeah. Otis Smith was one who played for the Jets and the Patriots. Randy Hilliard played on the Denver Bronco Super Bowl teams with John Elway.
Yeah.
Both of those guys came from East Jefferson.
And Randy played at Northwestern State?
Randy played at Northwestern, and Otis played at the University of Missouri.
And that's another question I have for you. And I'm one of the few, I guess, guys, if you want to say scout / media, but, I've always made trips to New Orleans the last 16, 18 years to watch practice and to go see teams and check up on all the teams in the area. And, there's so many kids in New Orleans. And you know this, Coach, that get overlooked and go to a lot of the Missouris, the Cincinnatis, the San Diego States like Marshall Faulk did and a few of the other ones over the years. But you still see that today. Even the West Bank, it's like the West Bank has a ton of talent these days, and you see so many kids now going out of state that are overlooked. You agree, Coach?
Absolutely. I think, you mentioned Marshall Faulk. I'll never forget. Ken Trahan and I were doing a game in the Superdome his senior year. We had never heard who Marshall Faulk was.
You're right.
And then all of a sudden, we're sitting in the press box in the Superdome, and we see this guy just all of a sudden 2 or 3 times just take off and make fantastic runs. I had to go buy a program to find out who this guy was, and it was Marshall Faulk.
And Carver High School.
Carver High School, that's correct. And Wayne Reese was his coach, and nobody in Louisiana offered him an opportunity to be a running back.
Yeah.
And San Diego State did that, and
the rest is history.
Yeah. I mean,
Coach, we're going to take a break. Stay online. We got you for one more segment. I'd love to talk to you a little bit more about high school football. We'll be right back with you, Coach.
Okay.
And we'll be back with more Louisiana Football TV Magazine with Henry Rando, coaching legend, retired coach, East Jefferson Jesuit, many schools, one of the fine coaches of the Louisiana over the last 30 years. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Don't be left without power this hurricane season. Central Plumbing Company is now a Briggs & Stratton generator sales, installation, and service provider. Affordable Briggs & Stratton generator systems come with a 4-year warranty. That's twice as long as the leading competitor's brand. You can keep your cool because Briggs & Stratton generators allow you to use your central air in power outages. And when you buy a Briggs & Stratton generator from Central Plumbing, you'll get prompt, preferred service even during an emergency. So get prepared this hurricane season at Central Plumbing Company. Now at 7000 Greenwell Springs Road, 925-8552.
At Gulf Coast Office Products, we're at pace with the future, offering leading technology and multifunctional office equipment. Whether it's copying, printing, scanning, or faxing, you'll receive the best in quality right here locally.
Gulf Coast has been an integral partner in providing the technology for our company's growth.
From full-color imaging equipment to document imaging software for storage and retrieval, we're leading the way. Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions.
So, Dad, can I borrow the car?
Where are you going?
Just to the movies, please.
They grow up fast.
Thanks, Dad.
State Farm's Steer Clear program helps them learn safety. You get lower rates. When you're there, State Farm is there.
Where are you going?
Work.
State Farm agents Tommy DeSormo in Lafayette and Jeff Ritchie in New Roads are there for you. Call to start planning today.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat everyone from Grand Slam hitters to grandparents. Now with 7 locations to serve you. If your doctor recommends physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, the physical therapy choice of baseball players, grandparents, and everyone in between.